What kind of animal could be worth $70 million? A real, living beast sold for more than a penthouse apartment in Manhattan. We're not talking about pets, but secrets worth billions of dollars hidden in golden cages. Get ready to discover the 10 animals only billionaires can afford to own. The last one will leave you speechless. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Legend, the $1.8 million koi carp, a true living work of art. Some treasures are never displayed behind museum glass or under the bright lights of art auctions. They don't need gold frames or pedestals. Instead, they move silently through shimmering water. Alive, vibrant, and priceless. Welcome to the world of koi carp, where beauty, prestige, and symbolism blend into a living tradition. And in this world, one name reigns supreme: legend. This isn't just any fish, it's a masterpiece, sold for approximately $1.8 million in 2018, equivalent to more than 8 million reais, a sum that made global headlines and stunned those unfamiliar with the koi industry. Not for its speed, not for its size, but for a level of beauty, symmetry, and grace so rare, so refined, that it felt less like a fish and more like a dream painted in motion. Legend was auctioned at the renowned Sakai Fish Farm in Japan, a place considered the epicenter of elite koi breeding. Only the world's most passionate collectors and serious investors were in the room. Among them stood Jing Ying, a Taiwanese businesswoman and longtime koi collector. She recognized immediately what others merely admired: perfection. Legend is of the Kohaku variety, one of the most revered and iconic koi types in Japan, defined by deep crimson-red markings set against snow-white skin. But while thousands of koi may carry these colors, few achieve the flawless balance seen in Legend. Its body proportions, pattern placement, skin luster, and even its movement through the water, everything combined into a vision so harmonious that it looked like it was sculpted by nature, but perfected by human hands. And therein lies the heart of koi culture. It's not just biology, it's not just aquaculture, it's art. To raise a koi like Legend is to dedicate years, even decades, to patience, observation, and refinement. It begins with selecting only the finest bloodlines, often the result of generations of careful breeding. From the moment the fry hatch, breeders are analyzing shape, skin quality, color depth, and potential. Only a fraction are chosen to continue. The rest are sold or released. Over the years, that short list becomes shorter. Only the best of the best survive the intense scrutiny, and in extremely rare cases, one koi rises above the rest. That's how Legend was born, not just from genetics, but from decades of breeder intuition, obsession, and respect for tradition. But the story doesn't end at the sale. In fact, for koi like Legend, the journey continues long after purchase. Maintaining a fish of this caliber is like maintaining a vintage Rolls Royce or a priceless Stradivarius. Everything must be precisely controlled. The pond must be large and custom designed, with a depth that supports healthy circulation and allows for full, graceful swimming. Water must be filtered through state-of-the-art systems to ensure crystal clarity and chemical balance. Temperature is monitored down to the decimal. pH levels are adjusted daily. Lighting is carefully positioned to preserve the koi's vibrant colors. And feed. Only the most nutrient-rich, color-enhancing pellets, often mixed with natural supplements like silkworms or seaweed. Veterinary checkups are regular, and any hint of infection or skin damage is treated immediately, because any flaw could affect both the koi's health and its multi-million-dollar value. And yet, value in this world is not only financial. In Japanese tradition, koi symbolize perseverance, nobility, and transformation. They are creatures of myth, tied to stories of fish that swim upstream and become dragons. Icons of endurance and achievement. Owning a koi like Legend isn't just about wealth, it's about making a statement without a word. Unlike flashy jewelry or towering mansions, koi exist in silence. They don't scream for attention. They glide through water, serene and unbothered, admired only by those who know how to look. In recent decades, ultra-wealthy collectors from around the world, especially in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, have started to view champion koi as both luxury items and cultural assets. Some have entire koi houses built on their estates, staffed with full-time caretakers, and connected directly to their homes via glass tunnels or custom viewing rooms. And among all these collectors and all their living treasures, Legend remains a name spoken with reverence. She's more than just the most expensive koi ever sold. She's a symbol of how discipline, tradition, and natural beauty can converge into a single living being, a being that doesn't just move through water, it moves something in us. So if you ever get the chance to see Legend glide beneath the surface of a still pond, take a moment. Breathe. Appreciate the way light dances on her back, the elegance of each flick of the tail, the quiet power in her presence. Because this isn't just a fish, this is a living monument to perfection. Number 2, Miss Missy, the Dairy Queen, the most expensive cow on the planet. Forget diamonds, yachts, and luxury sports cars. In the elite world of livestock breeding, there's a creature so valuable, so genetically superior, that she commands a price tag worthy of royalty. Meet Miss Missy, a Holstein cow with a price tag between 1.2 million and 2 million. Yes, you read that correctly. And this isn't some record set decades ago or an exaggeration for headlines. This is real. She's been dubbed the Dairy Queen, not just for her stunning milk output, but for being the epitome of bovine perfection. Miss Missy is not your ordinary barnyard resident. She's the kind of cow that rewrites the rules of dairy farming. Her genetic line is so superior that she produces nearly 50% more milk than your average Holstein cow. That alone is enough to make her a superstar in the dairy world. But the real treasure lies not just in what she produces, it's in what she can pass on. Her calves aren't just livestock, they're walking investments, biological gold mines with the potential to revolutionize herds across the globe. In the cattle breeding world, genetics is everything. It's like Formula 1 for farms. Only the best DNA makes the cut, and Ms. Missy is in pole position. Every calf she produces can be auctioned for tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Breeders from around the world have competed for the chance to bring just a fraction of her genetic legacy into their operations. And in this game, profit isn't a hope, it's a guarantee. But the story doesn't end there. Miss Missy isn't just a milk machine or a genetic jackpot. She's a celebrity in her own right. She has swept top honors at numerous agricultural fairs and livestock competitions, including the World Dairy Expo, one of the most prestigious stages in the dairy farming world. There, she's been admired not only for her production stats, but for her impeccable conformation, the size, symmetry, muscle tone, and frame that judges dream of. Her owners haven't just gained a cow, they've gained global recognition, catapulted into the upper echelon of breeders and dairy entrepreneurs. Owning Miss Missy is like having the Picasso of the dairy world, a living artwork of biological engineering and care. Of course, $1 million cow doesn't live in an average stall. Miss Missy resides in climate-controlled barns, sleeps on sand-bedded stalls, and follows a carefully tailored diet, often including custom feed mixes, vitamin supplements, and precise hydration schedules. Her handlers are trained to the highest standards, her medical care is top tier, and even her breeding is managed through high-tech artificial insemination programs involving genetic consultants. The level of luxury and attention she receives could make even thoroughbred racehorses feel underappreciated. What makes all of this even more fascinating is the idea that a cow could become a symbol, not just of wealth, but of legacy. Miss Missy represents a shift in how we view agriculture and the business of food production. She shows that innovation in farming isn't just about machines or tech. It's about biology, science, and strategic breeding. With every generation she inspires, Miss Missy leaves behind more than calves. She leaves behind a lineage of excellence. This is why owning Miss Missy isn't just a transaction, it's a declaration, a bold, unapologetic statement that says, I don't just play the game, I redefine it. In a world obsessed with digital assets, AI, and biotech startups, Miss Missy is a reminder that nature still holds the crown when cultivated, nurtured, and respected to its fullest potential. She is a living legacy, a biological masterpiece, and a revolutionary force in the global dairy industry. And just when you think you've seen the pinnacle of animal luxury and investment, get ready, because the next creature doesn't graze in pastures, it rules the depths of the ocean. Number 3, the radiated tortoise. The slow jewel of nature. It may not run marathons or even make it across the yard quickly, but when it comes to elegance, rarity, and value, the radiated tortoise is light years ahead in the exotic animal world. With a price tag over $100,000, this tortoise isn't just a creature, it's a status symbol, a testament to patience, and a piece of enduring luxury. Native to Madagascar, this species is famous for having one of the most stunning shells in the animal kingdom. Unlike other tortoises, it bears a starburst pattern of golden rays over a dark, glossy background, like each one was hand-painted by a Baroque artist using sunlight. Its scientific name is Astrocalis radiata, but you don't need to know Latin to know this animal is special. In a world where falcons fly first class and dogs wear diamond collars, the radiated tortoise sits on a sacred pedestal. Millionaire businessmen, rare animal collectors, and nature lovers spend fortunes just to share space with this evolutionary masterpiece. But as with all true luxury, beauty comes with responsibility. The radiated tortoise is critically endangered according to the IUCN. Once abundant in Madagascar's spiny forests, it now teeters on the brink of extinction due to deforestation, poaching, and the illegal pet trade. Owning one legally is an epic challenge, requiring international documentation, site certificates, environmental permits, and regular inspections. This isn't like buying a puppy at a pet store. It's like acquiring a natural relic, and once you have one, the real journey begins. Raising a radiated tortoise in captivity takes patience, skill, and deep respect. They take 15 to 20 years to reach sexual maturity, making breeding a challenge even for experts. Their hatchlings are fragile and require strictly controlled environments. The habitat must closely replicate Madagascar's climate, hot, dry, and with managed humidity. Their diet must be rich in fiber and calcium, and low in protein to prevent shell deformities. No shortcuts. One mistake can compromise their long-term health. It requires veterinary knowledge, ongoing investment, and above all, love. But why would anyone invest so much time and money for a tortoise that moves slowly and eats lettuce? Simple. The radiated tortoise represents what the modern world lacks: consistency, natural beauty, and patience. It doesn't rush, it watches, it exists, with more grace and dignity than most humans trapped in overdrive. With a lifespan of 50 to even 100 years, this isn't a temporary pet, it's a lifelong legacy passed down through generations. Its value isn't just in its looks, but in what it teaches: the importance of preservation, the fragility of nature, and the urgency to protect what's rare before it vanishes. In a world obsessed with speed and innovation, the radiated tortoise reminds us to slow down, reflect, and treasure what truly endures. Because real beauty isn't in the race, it's in knowing where to step and appreciating each step of the way. Number 4, the chimpanzee, the $250,000 genius pet only the elite can own. Not everyone is willing to pay $250,000 for a creature that can look you in the eyes as if it's reading your mind. But for some, especially the ultra-rich, a chimpanzee is more than a pet. It's a companion, a child, a symbol. Owning a chimp is a test of patience, love, and reputation, not just because of the cost, but because of what it represents. An animal that shares over 98% of its DNA with humans, making it one of the most expensive, fascinating, and risky animals a billionaire can own. Chimpanzees aren't just smart, they're cunning, capable of learning tricks, using tools, and expressing emotion like an energetic child. They can be playful, affectionate, even funny, but don't be fooled by the cuteness. Without constant physical and mental stimulation, they can become restless, destructive, and even dangerous. Owning a chimpanzee goes far beyond financial means. It's a lifelong commitment, as they can live up to 50 years and require human-like care. They need space, trees to climb, intellectual toys, and a rich diet of fruits, vegetables, and proteins. And most importantly, they cannot stand loneliness. If you can't spend hours daily interacting and bonding with them, forget it. This makes them valuable not just economically, but in time, emotion, and devotion. Famous chimp owners include St. James Davis, a former NASCAR driver, and his wife, who raised Mo as their own son. Tanya Haddix from Missouri dedicated her life to Tonka, a movie star who appeared in Hollywood hits like George of the Jungle. Their story was even featured in the HBO documentary Jim Crazy. These stories prove that for those willing to take the risk, chimps aren't just pets, they become family. And if $250,000 feels excessive, meet the chimp's humble cousin, the Japanese snow monkey, also known as the ice monkey, with a price tag of $10,000. It's the cheapest pet on the luxury list, but don't let the price fool you. These monkeys, native to Japan's snowy mountains, love bathing in hot springs and are known as masters of meditation and relaxation. You're not just paying for a monkey, you're paying for a lifestyle of absolute calm. They're incredibly smart, love solving puzzles, learning tricks, and playing pranks when left alone. They need a cold habitat, climbing trees, simulated hot springs, and a balanced diet. A snow monkey might look at you like it's in charge, and sometimes sometimes it really is. While the rest of the world fights over gold watches and yachts, the ultra-wealthy are quietly building private zoos where every creature is a living symbol of power, devotion, and bottomless wealth. And this, my friend, is just the beginning. Number 5. Sir Lancelot Encore, the $16 million cloned dog that changed history. You've heard of $1 million cars or Malibu cliffside mansions worth tens of millions. But have you ever heard of a $16 million dog? This isn't just any dog. We're talking about Sir Lancelot Encore, the world's first cloned Labrador retriever, and his story proves how far humans will go for love. After the death of their beloved dog, Sir Lancelot, Florida millionaires Edgar and Nina Otto refused to let go. They had preserved his DNA since 2003 and decided to do what, until then, only existed in science fiction: clone their best friend. They succeeded, not in the US, but in South Korea, where animal cloning technology leads the world. Scientists extracted Lancelot's DNA and implanted it into the egg of a local dog. The embryo was then placed in a surrogate mother. 60 days later, a miracle was born. Sir Lancelot Encore, weighing just 600 grams, but carrying the exact genetic legacy of the original. But what shocked the world wasn't just the cloning, it was the $16 million price tag, which included scientific research, specialized care, and the cutting-edge technology involved. Sir Lancelot Encore became the most expensive pet on Earth, not just because he's a perfect genetic replica, but because he has the same personality, habits, and preferences as his predecessor. From the way he responds to his name to his love for walks, everything seemed copied from memory. Today, Sir Lancelot Encore lives in a 12-acre mansion with the Ottos, surrounded by a private zoo with other dogs, cats, sheep, and even parrots. Most fascinating, Sir Lancelot Encore didn't just return, he continued the legacy, fathering multiple litters and creating a bloodline admired even by scientists. He's not just a dog, he's the symbol of a future where love and technology merge. Proof that with enough money, determination, and desire, even death can be defied. Sir Lancelot Encore didn't just come back to life, he became a living legend, a masterpiece of human affection and scientific brilliance. Number 6. Savannah, cat or treasure. Why billionaires crave one? Step into the world of pets that aren't for just anyone, where power, wild beauty, and elegance merge into a single creature, the Savannah cat, with a price tag that can reach $50,000. This feline is more than a pet, it's a living symbol of luxury for those who want to make a statement and spend serious money doing it. A cross between a domestic cat and an African serval, the Savannah cat is the perfect embodiment of wild nature in a designer frame. With a tall, slender body, large upright ears, and a cheetah-like spotted coat, it instantly grabs attention. But the Savannah is more than just looks. It's an energetic, highly intelligent animal often called the dog in a cat's body due to its unusual loyalty. They can be trained to walk on a leash, fetch objects, and interact in incredible ways, turning every moment into a refined display of tamed wilderness. But owning a Savannah cat is nothing like owning an ordinary house cat. It's a serious investment in time, space, and mental stimulation. They need constant exercise, regular mental challenges, and most importantly, open environments to develop their instincts. Breeding the perfect Savannah is no easy task. It takes several generations, highly specialized breeding skills, and the patience of the world's top breeders. This is not a cat that curls up quietly to watch TV. It's a legendary creature made to be a companion for those at the top of the social pyramid. And if you thought $50,000 was the peak of luxury, just wait for what's next. A creature so exclusive that only tech billionaires and Middle Eastern royalty dare to own one. A $220,000 parrot. Even Jeff Bezos might raise an eyebrow. The palm cockatoo, the sky's rock star. Welcome to the untamed world of bird royalty, where feathers shine like jewels and prices rival Wall Street wallets. Imagine walking into a room and being greeted by a palm cockatoo, a striking bird with jet black feathers, red cheeks, and a mohawk-like crest that could rival any rock legend. With a jaw-dropping price of $116,000, this bird isn't just a pet, it's a living sculpture, a status symbol, and yes, a drummer. That's right. Unlike any other bird on Earth, the palm cockatoo uses sticks to beat on hollow trees, creating wild rhythms you won't hear in any concert hall. No wonder it's nicknamed the Goliath of the skies. But don't be fooled, owning one is far from paradise. They're fiercely independent, loud, demanding, and require intense stimulation and a lifelong commitment, as they can live up to 90 years. You're not just buying a pet, you're signing a lifetime contract with a diva that knows her worth. And if $116,000 sounds outrageous, brace yourself. The blue and gold Spix's macaw takes luxury to a whole new level, worth up to $220,000. This parrot is a master mimic and a true example of natural elegance. Draped in dazzling blue and gold feathers, this bird isn't just beautiful, it talks, forms deep emotional bonds with humans, and rules its aviary like a palace. The high cost comes from its extreme rarity, complex breeding, and specialized diet. With a lifespan of up to 50 years, it's half a century of intelligent companionship. This isn't just a parrot, it's a winged Bentley. So next time someone says, "It's just a bird," you'll know better. These birds are living, breathing, talking embodiments of luxury and grace. And as prices climb into six-figure territory, one question remains. Would you pay more than a luxury Mercedes just to hear a bird say your name? Number 7. Lavender albino python, a living sculpture worth $40,000. When we think of extreme luxury, we picture Italian supercars, Swiss watches, or private jets. But for a very specific elite, where collectors resemble modern-day alchemists, the peak of rarity isn't found in precious metals, but in scales. More specifically, the shimmering scales of a lavender albino python, one of the most hypnotic and expensive creatures in the exotic world. Average price, $40,000 for a single snake. But this is no ordinary snake. It's a genetic masterpiece, a living expression of evolutionary perfection combined with careful, meticulous human intervention. Its lavender hue, yes, actual lavender, is not artificial or a lighting trick. It's the result of a rare recessive genetic mutation that removes melanin, allowing soft shades of lilac, white, and gold to gleam like they were hand-painted. And the eyes? Glowing ruby red, as if holding the memory of ancient temples, forgotten sorcerers, and eternal deserts. You don't just look at this snake, you are seen and judged silently. This look is only possible through years, often decades of selective breeding, requiring deep genetic knowledge and nearly monastic patience. Only a handful of breeders in the world have mastered this art. That's why the lavender albino python is incredibly rare, even among elite breeders. But don't be fooled by the price tag. This isn't a monster. It's known for its gentle and calm behavior. Unlike what Hollywood might suggest, it's not aggressive and doesn't escape to scare you at night. It's peaceful, introspective, and even affectionate with experienced owners. That's why Silicon Valley billionaires, Hollywood artists, and exotic reptile collectors desire it so much, not just for the exclusivity, but because it represents something deeper, the intersection of living art, genetic science, and natural spirituality. But owning one isn't simple. It requires specific licensing, legal documentation, environmental permits, and depending on the country, federal or state registration. And that's before you even buy the terrarium. Speaking of which, forget anything makeshift. This reptilian royalty demands precise control of temperature, typically between 82 to 98 degrees, constant humidity, special lighting to simulate day-night cycles, and an exact diet. Appropriately sized rats, rabbits, or birds at carefully calculated intervals. The enclosure also needs to be large enough for smooth movement. We're not talking about a trinket, but a snake that can grow up to 6 feet long. It also requires regular vet checkups, ideally with an exotic animal specialist, a rare specialty for an even rarer animal. But here's the most important detail. You don't own a lavender albino python. You share space with it, you care for it, observe it, and in doing so, you're transformed. Because more than a status symbol or a genetic rarity, this snake is a lifestyle, one where beauty, patience, knowledge, and dedication are the only possible paths. It's not a pet, it's a living sculpture, a sinuous enigma, a relic, a heartbeat with scales. And if you think $40,000 for a snake is the peak of luxury in the animal kingdom, just wait until you meet the next pet. Spoiler, it purrs and costs more than a luxury import car. Number 8. Purebred Red Tibetan Mastiff. If there were a canine version of the Iron Throne, the purebred Red Tibetan Mastiff would be sitting on it, head held high, mane flowing, and the piercing gaze of someone who knows exactly what they're worth. And when we say worth, we mean it. This dog has been sold for up to $9 million in China. Yes, you read that right, $9 million for a dog. But for many wealthy Chinese elites, this animal is more than a dog. It's a symbol of power, status, bloodline, and ancestry. While some buy sports cars or Swiss watches. Others prefer a canine companion that looks like a fusion between a bear, a lion, and a Himalayan warrior monk. The Tibetan Mastiff is an ancient breed, originating from the icy highlands of Tibet. Bred for centuries to protect herds, monasteries, and entire villages from predators like snow leopards and wolves, this dog is a true guardian, a furry security guard with a millennia-old instinct. What makes the Red Mastiff so special? Start with appearance. Imagine a 165-pound animal with broad shoulders, massive paws, and a muscular body cloaked in a coat so thick and voluminous it resembles royal armor. The rare fire red variant looks like a Tibetan lion with a mane around the neck that makes it seem like it walked straight out of a Buddhist legend. Its behavior is just as striking, fiercely loyal, intelligent, protective, and independent. But beware, this is not a beginner's dog. Tibetan Mastiffs do not thrive in apartments, dislike being left alone, are not easily submissive, and are definitely not lap dogs. They need space to run, constant stimulation, a strong and experienced owner, and ideally, a life purpose. Otherwise, they'll find their own, and it might not be ideal for you. Upkeep, fit for royalty. Their coat needs frequent brushing, almost daily, to maintain its volume and avoid tangles. Regular baths with special products, and a lot of patience. Their diet, demanding and expensive, high-protein foods, selected raw meats, and vitamin supplements, like an Olympic athlete's meal plan, but for a giant dog. Due to their strong guarding instinct, early socialization and professional training are a must. A poorly trained Mastiff can become stubborn, aggressive with strangers, and even dangerous. Training a Tibetan Mastiff is more of a diplomatic negotiation than simple obedience. He will test you, challenge you, and if you don't show confidence and leadership, you might end up being the one trained. But when raised properly, with respect, patience, and understanding, the Tibetan Mastiff becomes a majestic, noble, and surprisingly affectionate creature. He doesn't bark unnecessarily, but when he does, it's like thunder, warning that no one is welcome. In its homeland, the Tibetan Mastiff is revered. Legend says they descend from mountain spirit dogs, companions of monks, and guardians of mystical portals. Even if you don't believe in such tales, just look into its eyes for a few seconds. You'll sense something special, a mix of ancient wisdom and raw silent strength. The purebred red Tibetan Mastiff is not just a dog, it's a living symbol, a four-legged heritage, a myth that barks. Number 9. Fusaichi Pegasus. The $70 million racehorse that redefined the meaning of luxury. You thought expensive diamonds, Beverly Hills mansions, or private jets were the peak of luxury. Forget it. This is the story of a four-legged creature that shattered all financial boundaries. Fusaichi Pegasus was sold for an astonishing $70 million in the year 2000. Before millions of viewers around the world, Pegasus struck like lightning at America's most important racetrack, the Kentucky Derby, winning spectacularly and taking the horse racing world by storm. But that victory was just the beginning. What turned Pegasus into a living legend was his noble lineage and billion-dollar breeding potential. He wasn't just fast, he was genetic perfection. Son of Mr. Prospector, one of the most iconic stallions in history, an Angel Fever, a noble-blooded mare carrying the so-called golden gene. That's why Japanese tech and publishing tycoon Fusao Sekiguchi bought the colt for $4 million and named him Fusaichi, my number 1. After his historic win at the Kentucky Derby, Pegasus was sold to Coolmore Stud, the world's largest horse breeding empire, for $70 million. But why pay so much? Because in the billionaire world, a champion like Pegasus is a gold mine. He represents the chance to produce hundreds of millionaire descendants through secret and exclusive breeding contracts where the world's elite quietly compete for the right to own the rarest bloodline on the planet. Despite a short career on the track, with 6 wins in 9 races, his real value lies behind the scenes, in the million-dollar deals that shape the future of racing and equestrian empires. Fusaichi Pegasus is, quite literally, a living diamond in the racing world, and the ruler of this universe? Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Prime Minister and Vice President of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. He's not just a leader, he's a living symbol of unimaginable power and wealth, with a fortune estimated at $14 billion. He founded Godolphin and Darley Stud, 2 horse racing empires that span the UAE, UK, USA, France, Australia, and Ireland. He owns priceless legends like Dubai Millennium, the undefeated champion, and Thunder Snow, the first horse to win the Dubai World Cup twice, taking home $12 million per victory. Descendants of warhorses like Goliath are also valued at over 3 million, proving that in this world, genes are gold and bloodlines are power. This isn't just a story about a horse, it's a whisper from the super rich, a manifesto of power, money, and immortal blood. Just when you think you've seen it all, Fusaichi Pegasus shows up to prove that true luxury is a creature born to become a legend. So how much would you pay for a living legend? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. White Lion, the ultimate symbol of power and luxury, valued at $140,000. Imagine a world where lion cubs aren't wild creatures from the African savanna, but living symbols of power, lounging majestically in the gardens of multi-million-dollar mansions, each worth up to $140,000. This is the magical reality of white lion cubs, rare creatures born from a unique genetic mutation that gives them snow-white fur and eyes as deep blue or golden as gemstones, as if taken from a fairy tale. Their charm goes beyond beauty. Their extreme rarity makes them even more coveted. Even in captivity, they are rare, since both parents must carry the special gene to produce a white cub. Breeding them requires strict supervision, deep genetic knowledge, and highly specialized care. As cubs, they need to be treated like treasures, with special diets and professional training. But as they grow, they become powerful beasts that require vast spaces, reinforced security, and constant attention from wildlife experts. In many countries, owning a white lion is illegal or requires special permits, making their possession a true global challenge. But for the global elite, having a white lion isn't just a whim, it's a status statement. I'm different. I'm at the top of the top. You can't talk about luxury animals without mentioning the powerful figures of the Middle East. Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai, caused a stir on social media after posting a video playing with a white striped tiger, an animal that can be worth over $100,000. Scenes of white tigers sitting in Rolls Royces or white lions strolling through palace gardens are no longer movie fantasies. They are reality for the super rich. Another example is Monix, a young billionaire from the UAE and owner of Fame Park in Dubai, considered the most luxurious private zoo in the world, with over 500 exotic animals from white lions, white tigers, and cheetahs worth around $100,000 each, to bears and crocodiles. Fame Park is the ultimate expression of luxury, where every step and every roar glows with golden brilliance. This is no longer about pets. It's the kingdom of those who do not accept limits. A world where every animal is a symbol, every creature represents power, where beauty, money, and the desire for immortality come together in living legends. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out the other amazing videos that are appearing right now on your screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.